Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a nice summer evening. And we're going to this session's probably going to be a little bit shorter than normal, just because there's not a whole heck of a lot going on in the markets, and it's the middle of the summer. So we're doing a sound check. Can everybody hear me okay? Making sure we got enough. All right. Okay. All right, well, we saw the weakness starting last week up here in the Dow, where we had a bearish Harami, and then it started selling off, and then on Friday, obviously, it gapped down. And the same thing was kind of evident over here on the NASDAQ, where doji, and then a gap down, telling us this was the indecision up here, and they were starting to sell off a little bit. Let me make this smaller. Kind of looking at the fact that there might be a kind of a trend wedge setting up. So there's not going to be a whole lot of excitement in the market here on the short term. Whoops. Let's get this out of the way. Put this over here. Okay, so again, the markets are soggy. Gold has been heading lower for the last few months, and things like nugget, obviously still in a downtrend. However, notice what we had here today, the gap down in the oversold area. This is where you start watching for reversal. Notice up here where there's bigger trading days, and then it got indecisive after the reversal had occurred. Crude oil just kind of moving sideways, not moving too much from this area. And interest rates seem to be popping up a little bit. Bonds moving up right back into this area. I think the yield right now on the 10-year note is 2.87, which means it's not anything real market moving, any factors there. There's still a few good chart setups just by knowing what the signals and patterns are illustrating. Notice the doji or stick sandwich. Stick sandwich is a big up day, a big down day, a big up day. That tells you the bulls are definitely taking control. So you're going to need to watch this one on positive trading tomorrow with the anticipation that you're coming up to the 50. And there is a wee little teeny gap right here. That may not look significant, but that's probably the first target to look for. LSCC, another one that looks like it's trying to do a little classic. Your fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern. This one you want to start watching to see if there's going to be some bullish trading over the next few days, which means you can be buying even if this market is trading off. ARQL, same scenario. Little fry pan bottom. You want to watch this one because of this little curvature right here. Make this bigger. You can definitely be buying this one on positive trading and real aggressively if it breaks up through this area. See what else I've come up with tonight. As I say, this is going to be fairly short. There's not a whole lot of great opportunities out here right now, just because the market's moving sideways and it's late summer. CCXI moved positive today because of the big doji. And remember our simple doji rule. It's going to move in the direction of how they open after a doji. Plus, you can see this downtrend was broken with this doji. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading with your first target probably coming back up here to test the recent highs. SA, Seabridge Gold, same scenario. Whenever you see a gap up doji, you are looking for it to trade positive the next day. You can be a buyer. That told you the profit taking was over after the initial move, and then the bulls will step right back up or right back in, with the basis of this being that they're trying to come in with great aggressiveness. That's what created the best friend gap up in the first place. When the profit taking was over, that's what we're looking for, is to start buying when that profit taking has gotten out of the trade. Another scoop type fry pan bottom on EVH. Another obvious breakout level right in here. Let me see if I could do this. So if you see it break up through this level, you want to be a buyer, kind of a scoop pattern breakout to the upside. Somebody pointed out Restoration Hardware today. So this is, again, where you can get a lot better visual control by analyzing. You got a big fry pan bottom. As soon as it came and hit the 50, it did a morning star signal with a confirmation of breaking through the T-line and using the 50 one more time. This one you can still be buying because of the fry pan bottom setup, which essentially tells you, that after this big breakout, there's been lots of consolidation. Now they're getting ready for the next go around. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading. GDS, where do most people sell? They panic sell at the bottom. Where do you grab for the fallen knife? Remember, this is a harami, but it's called a homing pigeon, not a bullish harami. Notice how they opened it here and closed it back here, so these two candles were the same color. That's what confirmed the next day that the selling had stopped. That's when you could be buying. Where's your next logical target? You had a doji sandwich breakout off the 200 through the T-line. That would probably make your 50-day moving average your next likely target. Flexion, bullish harami, bullish confirmation. The selling has stopped. Now the bulls have stepped in, coming back up into this range somewhere. Oh, Dillard's, same scenario. Notice where the breakout occurred. Right through the T-line with a doji gap up. And then there was your big up day, followed by a bullish engulfing. Want to be a buyer of this one on positive trading. Another example of, a big wave. Notice the kind of the wedge formation breakdown. Now they're starting back up. Should be another wave potential of this right here. MXL, notice your slow curve and what accentuated this uptrend, kind of your belt hold, wiping out some of the indecision selling. Notice what the trajectory was after the belt hold, whole new direction. I would suspect they're coming up here and wouldn't even doubt that they could come all the way up to the 200 at this point. BGFV, kind of, look, notice the basing in here. A doji, a doji, a doji, a doji, morning star type signal, close above the T-line. If it starts trading positive, what else is it doing? It's pretty much telling us that the T-line's not acting as resistance anymore. And MPAA. Once again, there's that big belt hold bullish left-right combo, kind of telling you the indecision is over with. Now you've got a strong new trajectory on. Oh, for crying out loud, how come I can't hit my butt with either hand tonight? Broke through this level, telling you there's a new dynamic. NUVA J-hook pattern. Make this bigger again. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading. Again, the J-hook pattern, wave 1, wave 3 being the, hello, Pat. Good to see you. Wave 3 being the same magnitude as wave 1. MDSO, little J-hook pattern with a left-right combo right off the T-line. First target here, next target up here filling the gap. We recommended, pshaw. PVG today on the basis that we had the best friend gap up, that if they started trading positive, it would be breaking out through this area. However, as you can see, when it opened lower after the big move, remember when we did our statistics weekend, that if it opened lower after a big, huge move, the probabilities are probably 90% in your favor that it's not going up, it's going down. So what's a good place to be buying? If they come back up through this level, that tells you any of that profit taking after that big initial move is over. That's when you can start buying. Things like INNT started out with the potential of breaking out. Nice move, but notice what's happened over the last couple of days. They took it right back down below the T-line. Remember, just one simple statistical, factor is that if you're trading below the T-line, the probabilities are much stronger that you're still heading in a downward direction, or at least not an upward direction. You close out the position and move on to something else. Trying to think of what else we... we're probably going to be doing, as soon as we get back from the lake, doing the stop loss. Notice again where you were on this, and notice where your safety stop would have saved you a lot of money. Right here at the previous day's open, because logic says if you're that far away from the T-line, even though you're in a fry pan bottom potential big move, you just put your safety stop right there. So everything that you witness in candlestick charts is mere common sense. It just says, where are the spots that tell you that there's been a change of investor sentiment, especially when we know what the sell signals and the buy signals are. So there you had not quite a shooting star, but look how far away you were from the T-line. If they open it, you put your stop right there. The logic says if they come down through that level, the sellers are taking control. And Cassie was one that we recommended today. Well. If this opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying. There's your doji sandwich breakout. On the other hand, even though you're not in the overbought area, look where you're starting to see resistance or potential resistance. right here at the obvious resistance level. Common sense says if this opens lower tomorrow, where are they likely to be taking it back to? The T-line. What's that tell us about our breakout? It didn't occur. You want to move out of that position to something else very quickly. MNK, these are the type you like to get stuck in. Notice how when we came out of the bobble breakout, this nice steady eddy bullish move, they gapped it up. Now we start watching for profit taking again. There's our safety stop right there. Notice what this is doing. This is why knowing what your support levels are, meaning the T-line and the 3T line. Logic says if you're above the T-line, you're in an uptrend. Logic also says if you're above the 3T line, your strength is that much greater. VSI, kicker type signal, fry pan bottom breakout. So buying right in here, you can kind of calculate that you're going to have to do something in this area. Either close out the position and or look for that big breakout. Now I know some people, with a JB, closed out the position right here, which was the right thing to do. But the next day, when they gapped it up and started trading it up, what type of signal could we see developing at the breakout level of a fry pan bottom? The kicker signal. Where was it going to go from there? Did we know it was going to go up here? Definitely not. We just knew that it was now in a breakout situation. What is that one? LX, bearish breakdown of kind of a little wedge formation. Get ready for a wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. Typing slow because up here at the lake, I don't have a desk light, so I'm hunting and pecking like normal. John D., you stay in it until you see a sell signal. Here's a left-right combo and a close below the T-line in PTGX. You can be shorting this one on weakness with the likelihood you're coming back down to test the 50-day moving average. So here's on VSI, what do? You stay long until you see a sell signal. If you're aggressive, you might put a sell stop tomorrow just below today's low, because that would tell you have a doji in the overbought area and they're starting to sell it. That's when you want to take your profits. CORT. Notice what they tried to do yesterday, that belt hold, bringing it back up, but they failed. Started taking it back down. Remember, we saw that earlier here in Netflix. They tried to bring it back up, but it wasn't quite a belt hold. They didn't get back up into the trading range. That told you they bounced it, but the next day we could still see that gap down force didn't get reversed on a belt hold signal. That wasn't a belt hold signal. Now, if it closed up in this range, yeah, that told me they brought it right back up into the trading range. The fact that they still had it gapped down this far told us that they better open positive and trade positive if you were thinking of staying long or going long or covering your short position. So right now, as you can see, without that the belt hold signal confirming, that gap down told you the bears were definitely in control. There's bearish J-hook pattern on ENTA, OPTN, whoops, OPTN, bearish J-hook pattern. Another one that you probably want to start going short on weakness, because you can see where the support level was, and they broke that support level. Wave 1, Wave 2, wave 3 could take you down another 10 points. Lumber liquidators. Observe the obvious. They were trying to support in here, in the oversold area. This is why when I see something like this, and let's say you were short, what was the probabilities telling you? If they weren't selling it off, you probably wanted to cover your short position. But where was a good logical place to put a buy stop or a sell stop? Right about in here, that logic says if they come down through there, this support level wasn't acting as support. They're going through to the next move to the downside. And ALNY, what do we got going on here? There's your bearish flutter kicker signal potential. If this opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting immediately because remember our doji rule. They're going to move in the direction of how they open after a doji. If they open it lower and start trading it lower, what type of signal? A bearish flutter kicker signal, which means you have a down candle. If you took out this little flutter, you've got a strong bearish kicker signal in progress. The biggies are hard to trade right now because there's not a whole lot of movement. You can see in Amazon, you're still in an uptrend, but it's getting a little bit dicey up here as soon as it hit kind of this upper resistance level. Apple, there we go. Same scenario here. If they started trading, if you were long, and they started trading this lower tomorrow, what's it telling us about our probabilities? It's disappeared as far as bullish probabilities. And if you close it out, you just put a buy stop up above the high of today. Logic says if they come up through there, now you've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. But at this point, with stochastics moving sideways in the overbought area, we don't know whether they're going this way, or this way. But 2 out of the 3 are against the probabilities of being in there. So you close it out and wait for the probabilities to come back around. And NVIDIA, nothing. You can see there's really no direction. Netflix. We did Netflix. Still hasn't been able to, if you bought here, this is why we always say watch to see what it does once it gets to the T-line. In this case, you can see that they failed. We might also be in this downtrending channel still. Facebook. Yes, I'd rather be, JP, I'd rather be a day late than a day early. So here's there's your bullish doji sandwich. But we're not getting confirmation. Even if we bought on this day would have, when it closed here, said it better trade positive, which it did. But then, what would have been Thursday of last week, you had a bearish engulfing, bearish left-right combo. That's not good. It had to open positive and trade positive. The fact that they opened it lower told you to start closing it out. It's not, the trade's not working. So if you always keep in mind that probably about 1/3 of the trades aren't going to work, makes you much more conscious of which signals aren't confirming, and you can get out of them right away, which kind of eliminates that emotional stigma of, I hate to close out a bad trade because it makes me look bad. If you just mentally think, oops, that was the 30% of the trades that didn't work, now you can rationalize, close it out, and move on to the next one. Tesla, just barely staying above the T-line, but doesn't look real great at this point. So right now, this market is pretty much telling us it doesn't have any real bullish direction to it, that there's a good probability they could be coming back down to either here or here on the Dow. The NASDAQ, we can see, is kind of setting up a little wedge formation, which tells us unless they really open this positive tomorrow and start taking it up, you probably want to be either coming out of cash, adding one or two more short positions, or kind of just sitting in cash for a few days or weeks. You're not going to miss much in the this part of the summer. I don't know. PISA is all right. Still just basic. Okay, that's about all we got for tonight. I'm going to probably close up early. If we want to do signals, let's do one apiece. So we'll go through some real quick. But this market isn't going to make anything real great. So, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. All right, so we'll... No, I didn't say that. So, I'm just goofing up here. That was the Russell 2000. Now, there you can see the big wedge formation. You can draw right down through the tops. You can draw up through the bottom. There's a light. Oh, that makes it better. So right now, no direction on the Russell. Kind of very indecisive also on Macy's. You can stay long as it stays above the T line. Casey needs to open positive and trade positive as long as it stays above the T line right now. You stay with it. SFIX backed off a little bit, but still in a nice little J hook. STFX, that one is not found. Unless I typed it wrong. STFX. No. CVRR, stay short. Wynn Resorts. Get ready to short this one on weakness. If it opens lower tomorrow. Darn, I'm just not hitting the right. Lab D, you can be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. VSEL. Just stay long, but I'd have a sell stop just below today's low today. Oh. Is that PLGT? PLGT. Big belt hold. That's a good looking chart. You can buy that one on positive trading. Labu. Stay short. You can see that it's bouncing off the 200, but so if they sell it off, you want to see what it's doing there. HRTX, you stay long as it stays above the T line. Darn it. NVR. Nice looking chart also. Stay long on this one, expecting to test the recent high. SID. Left-right combo. Still wouldn't be a buyer of this one or be in this one until it gets back up above the T line. QCOM. It has to open positive and trade positive tomorrow to stay in it. And AAOI, nothing of any great consequence here. Probably wouldn't be long or short this one right now. Did I do BGSM? And it doesn't seem to be working. Did they do AOI? Yeah, we just did that one. All right. And ANSI, nothing here to get real excited about. If you're long, you can stay long, but if it keeps moving sideways like this, I just take my money and get ready to find something better. Wayfair, stay long. Use the T-line as your stop. AVEO, you can be buying this one. Just make sure your volume is hefty for this price stock. And TDOC, notice where you did the bearish harami right here at the resistance level. If this opens lower tomorrow and you're long, close it out because it's telling you it did resist. You can always buy it if it comes back up through that level. And WAB, another one you can buy. If you got out of it, you can buy it back if it opens positive tomorrow. Okay, kind of a dull market, but we're right in the middle of the summer. Let me go back up and make sure I didn't skip anybody. No, trip for short. All right. Get ready to go short on weakness on this one. Yes, Lisa. And NXPI. Another one you get ready to go short. Good looking short. And Zillow, stay short. BGSM. BGSM. That one's not coming up on this system. Okay, a couple more. TRXC. At this point, if you were able to short this, I'd be covering the short. I wouldn't be going long either. There's really no direction on it. Whoops. Ross Stores needs to open positive, staying above the T-line. The water in the lake is absolutely refreshing. However, today we had rain most of the days. Yeah, that's not code for cold. It's a refreshing. All right, everybody. Expect kind of a lackadaisical market for the next week or so because you're right in big vacation time. Yeah, anything that you have on should have very compelling charts to them. So with that, everybody have a good evening. We'll see you bright and early in the chat rooms tomorrow. We'll see you then.